Okay, so I wanted to just do the initial piece of what I'm asking you all to do in the primary source analysis post, number one, which is just to start off by asking these two basic questions. What do you notice and what do you wonder about the newspaper ad you chose? So I chose this one honestly because I wanted to look through the ads from Connecticut because that's the state that I was raised in. And I found this ad that was published in 1897 in the Richmond Planet, which is a newspaper in Richmond, Virginia. And it is from a woman named Annie Sloan Powers, who's looking for multiple relatives. So her parents, her mother and her father, her brother, who she hadn't seen since 1865, so the very end of the Civil War. Now, what do I notice? What do I wonder? So the first thing I notice is that Annie Sloan Powers has lived in the North, in Norwich, Connecticut, since the end of the Civil War. So this to me makes me think of, all of the upheaval that freed people experienced at the very end of the war, and sort of the chaos of the early days of Reconstruction, where, as we talked about in Module 2, there were these laws passed in the immediate aftermath of the Civil War that made it extremely difficult for Black Americans, former slaves, formerly enslaved people, to move freely in the communities that they had always known. So I wonder if Annie Sloan Powers experienced something, personally that inspired her to move north. And what was the context in which she left her family? Was it that they got separated in the chaos of the war itself? Was it that she maybe got married and relocated with her partner? Was it that she had to escape some sort of bad situation and just had to go? So that's the initial thoughts that I have going through this source. And in the primary source analysis post that I'm going to write about this one, I am going to write a little bit more about the aftermath of the Civil War, the early days of Reconstruction, and why someone might, be separated from their family members, and then why then 30 plus years later they might go back and try to reconnect with them, especially in 1897, which is now basically the beginning of the Jim Crow era in the South, and maybe wanting to find and connect with her family so that they can be together and also find a place where they can be as free as possible together.